Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Yeah, interrogation time. It's gonna be funny. It is sad funny. It's not like funny, aha. It's sad. It's sad funny. But here's a commercial. They're not eligible, my boy. They were supposed to have a business before that, and they supposed to kicked out with so much money during payroll. They needed to have employees to have payroll, my boy. And your son, your grandma, those are your employees. Did they file out 1099s? Did they file out? Did you give them what's that, the 1042? Like, what did they do to file taxes to claim the money? Come on, man.
Send me something on the back end. Okay, so what I mean by contingency success rate on the back end.
The money. Come on, man.
Send me something on the back end.
Come on, man.
Send me something on the back end.
Come on, man.
Send me something on the back end. Okay, so send me something on the back end.
Yeah, desperate.
Okay, so what I mean, send me something on the back end. Okay. Send me something on the back end.
As well as the $2,000 you sent them on the front end. Sure. That's a great that's a great scheme, you know. This dude could ask, peace, Ra. This dude could ask for $2,000 like it's nothing, and then ask you to send him some money on the back end, and the some money on the back end is $30,000. This guy's trying to make that easy money. Come on, man.
Send me something on the back end. Okay, so what I mean by contingency success rate is with all the monies I'm helping people get, the 200 grand over here, the 26,500.
Yeah. Look at the hand, like he's doing so much work. All right, so let's talk about that money. Hold on.
Dollars per each person over there, helping you set up your business so you can have the right pieces in place so you can get the
Wait.
money.
Hold on. Cut off too early.
Helping you set up your business so you can have the right pieces in place so you can get the money.
So your shell business, they call it shell corporation, right? You just start up a business out of nowhere. You start lying, saying you made a certain amount of money, you got this many employees, this much payroll, all this lying stuff that he says he's gonna do for you. Right? So you can get the money, because they're definitely gonna send it to you. You're gonna get the money. All right, so let's look at that.
A percentage of your credit, okay? I'm not a fan of you paying a percentage of your credit for someone to prepare this, and I'll tell you why.
All right, I'm just looking for my phone. Once I find my phone, we get into the interrogation. I'm not a fan of you sending a percentage to someone who's preparing this for you. Hold on, he'll tell you why. Hold on. Yeah, he's definitely. We gotta go back to the percentage. This is low. Now this ain't the live, right? I'm just playing this back, just till I find my phone. Can't find my phone, then I'm going to interrogation. But I will be replaying this entire video probably tomorrow. For those who missed it. Caught him red-handed. Caught him with his hand in a cookie jar. Got him.
Okay, so the ERC employee, if we help you for when you get the money, send your boy 10% when you get the money.
It is not that hard. Of your mention, okay? I'm not a fan of you paying a percentage of your credit for someone to prepare this, and I'll tell you why, it is not that hard. You're right. You can look at a 941X and go, wow, that.
Remember 941X. Now remember, when he say somebody prepared for you, he's not talking about a high school dropout. He's talking about another CPA or an accountant. He's not talking about some fraud. Okay, just keep that in mind, and he's going to clarify.
Looks pretty difficult. Guess what? It ain't. Okay. In the sense of if you're getting a $100,000 credit and someone's charging you 20% and you're going to pay them 20 grand, that is not how.
So you see, it's a still.
20 grand, that is not how.
So you see, it's a still. So Polite only wants 10%. He's saying that the experts are charging 20%. So Polite is going to do, he's going to one up the experts, which, come on, are you surprised?
How this in a $100,000 credit, guess what? It ain't. Okay. In the sense of if you're getting a $100,000 credit and someone's charging you 20% and you're going to pay them 20 grand, that is not how this works. Okay. Someone, in my opinion, that's doing you right as an advisor will charge you for their time, and they should charge you for their time. And it may be a pretty penny that you have to pay. But
that's the $2 grand that Polite charging. What he's saying is that should be enough. All right. Now Polite's not in this category because he's not a CPA accountant. He don't have any financial credentials. So he's not in the conversation. He doesn't know that, of course. He's speaking to legit people, certified people. He doesn't know there's scammers out there, or he doesn't even care. Right. His channel is educational. It's for finance. He's not worried about scammers. And all right, let's get into it.
And I want you to understand that of all our studies, history is best qualified and most attractive to reward our research. If we know what happened yesterday, we can intelligently discuss today, because today is built on yesterday and tomorrow is built on today. So if we know what happened yesterday and what went down yesterday, then we are not likely to let the same thing go down today.
Another this is Fred Hampton.
Papa Doc in Haiti hated everything white. Man, you couldn't put this white paper in front of Papa Doc's face, but he moved all the white people out.
All right, this is an OG from the Black Panther Party. Listen to what he says.
He took over to be the president. He did, causing no education. And the people that have been educated, they just said that we don't hate the motherfucking white people, we hate the oppressor, whether he be white, black, brown, or yellow.
All right, so that memo was missed in these new Black Panther parties because they hate only white people. They only hate the white oppressor. Fred Hampton, one of the originators, the originals of this Black Panther movement, the brains behind it, said we just hate oppressors. Black, white, brown, yellow. We don't focus on race. But these new black militias, all you hear is whitey, 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 white man, white man. Everybody white ain't right. Everybody non-white is just legit. Miss Tiff, what's up? You there?
Yep, I'm here.
So what do you think about that Polite scam stuff?
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, but it just seems like he's just getting more and more emboldened to misbehave. Like he's already got this situation going on. And I think because, I don't know all the details of it, but I know that he's been able to somehow like delay his court appearances. And I think he almost probably feels like an actual superhero or something. Like he's immune to facing his judgment day.
Right.
And so now he's just, this right here is so blatantly scamming. I'm just like,
yeah, this is sloppy.
I'm amazed at how blatant it is. But then they were saying like this, Thursday just saying he's broke. So maybe he's just that desperate for money for his case, because I think that, and I don't know, I'm thinking that for him, he's probably thinking if I can get just this amount of people to give me $2 grand, not really even thinking that he's going to get something on the back end. In his mind, he's budgeted for a certain amount of people that will be desperate enough to give him $2 grand. And that'll help him get to the next point.
Yeah.
And then for the one or two that may actually get through, because he's encouraging other people to scam.
Right.
So for the for the few people that may get through, and then that may give him something on the back end. You know, that's just gravy on top. I mean, it's just a mess.
Yeah. He's hoping one of his fanatics go ahead and pay for the credit restoration package and then send him something on the back end. And that back end money gonna set him straight as far as legal fees if he's having trouble. That's gonna set him straight.
What do you think will happen? Like, what do you think he's already has set up for somebody that may decide they don't want to give him money on the back end? Like, what do you think the repercussions of that are going to be?
Oh, well, whatever cause remember, he's saying with the $2,000, he told you what they went to. It went to letters and this signature. So remember, he said the work, nobody gets paid until you get paid. So if he can't get the back end, that's known up front, then you ain't getting your stuff. You're gonna pay the $2,000 and he gonna do some other service, but you probably won't get the $300,000 or $100 to $300,000 he promised.
But you have to file the paperwork in order to get that tax credit. So you already have to go through the process of putting in the paperwork and then getting the money in your account. So there's nothing for him to stop. So I'm just wondering if he has some type of like crew of goons that are going to go after people if they get money. And
the way it works is, because I've been part of scam stuff, I've been a victim. So they usually ask for your stuff and they do it for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're going to get your account information and do it for you because it's just so hard. You can't do it yourself.
Oh my gosh. And you know, there's no reputable person in business that would fall for this, but I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you know what? A lot of people, some people are desperate for like credit restoration, right. And some people are more desperate for just capital.
Right. But they'll do anything.
Yeah, and don't forget, and these people probably were already risking freedom for goofy scams. So they're looking like, all right, this is a legit scam. Or to them.
So his target market is actually other scammers and people who are uber desperate.
Yeah, I would say low end scammers.
Right.
Who's trying to get over, yeah.
This is amazing. And they just passed some kind of bill that says that the federal government has the next 10 years, they might increase that to go after people who are committing fraud with this pandemic money.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So anybody who's thinking they're going to get away with it, I just really, I feel sorry for him.
As far as him, he's feeling like, how can he get in trouble? He just, like he said, he made a mistake and said, I'm preparing this for you. Oh, no, I'm not preparing it for you. I'm guiding you. So he's actually preparing it, but he's having you sign it. It's no different than when people do your taxes, right? They do everything and they just have you sign off to it.
Yeah, but he's still engaging in fraudulent activity. I mean, he could be.
Yeah, but how can you prove that though? Because he's in the back.
I mean, he got a whole video on the internet saying what he's going to do.
Now, yeah, but he can say,
yeah, okay.
Look, he can say, I talked to the person and they want, this is what they want to do. I advise no, because you would need to really record this dude to catch him advising you, fraudulently on this type of, that type of kill him with paperwork.
I feel like this video is so super incriminating. I'm sorry. I mean, he told people to, what do you mean you don't have a business? Create one. What do you mean you don't have employees? You got friends, don't you? I mean, that is like.
Yeah, that right there caught me off guard. My man said you got friends, and then he said children. Like, God dang.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. But that tells you what he's doing, right?
Right. That tells you what he's doing.
I tell you what he's doing.
And then he pulls at your emotional strings by making you feel like you're owed this money. Somehow you're owed this money that you literally are not entitled to.
Yeah, the government's scamming, so hey, get even.
Yeah.
What up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I think you got the YouTube playing in the background.
Yeah, I just paused it, bro.
Okay. Yep.
I'm good now.
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, what he doing is math. It is fraudulent, but at the same time, the reason why he's able to do it is because these people, their lack of research is what makes them spend their money on his services. So the way commerce works and the free market works, if you don't do your research, unless you're considered a security under the SEC laws, your decision is your decision. Being somebody who makes their own money and can transact with anybody pretty much, as long as it's not a foreign entity, right? So he's hustling people just like Umar's hustling people, bro. Like it's nothing, like it's a con man thing, bro. And a con man, the word con literally means confidence. So if you think you have enough confidence to be able to fool people, you can pull these type of things. And these people like Umar Johnson and like Polite are confident enough to pull these moves. And here we are. Like it ain't even just with them. I see it in the crypto side of things because I am into investing,
Yeah.
the normal side of things. But you got white boys and
Yep.
Japanese people over there on that side of things who are the same type of people who are trying to exploit Black culture, who's trying to exploit all these different psychological things that may resonate with certain people, but it's only because they trying to get it to resonate with you because they want you to spend money.
Right.
But that's not what it's about. So that's all I wanted to add to what y'all saying.
Let me add on to that. Yeah, because the average multi-level marketing scheme, they target, you could tell when the audience is Black that they're trying to target because you could look at the rewards you can win. It's always a car, right? It's always a fancy, up-to-date car. Like you can't really do that with middle America. Like they got nice cars and stuff. It's like, no, I don't want a car.
Or not even that. They don't need a car. In middle America, I'm probably riding a horse. Can you give me a free horse? No, you don't care about a free horse because most people don't live in middle America. Most people live in the suburbs and they need a fucking car or they need something else that's more practical to them. So you're trying to drive traffic to those areas. You don't care about somebody who's buying stuff from a mom and pop shop or who's buying stuff from their local grocery store versus to a food chain. You don't care about that. That's not where you're trying to drive traffic.
Yeah, what I mean is,
no, I know what you're saying, but yeah.
Like Black people just can't be content with a nice little Hyundai. We need the Rolls Royce. We need the C8. We need these muscle cars, and that's when they like, certain flyers, they'll have those cars on it, and they'll have certain looking women on the same flyers because like they kind of figured out like how the Negro think. And if you want to steer them wrong, you want to scam them, then let's have some jewelry, let's have some glitter, let's have some exotic cars. This is what catch their attention, not something, just regular nice whip. That's not attractive enough for us to fall for a scam. And this is why he was showing all those cars. Like he had all these rented cars, Lamborghini, this and that, and this, that, and this, and that, all these cars. And it's funny because he never really showed, not that I can remember, an actual house. Like he'll be in the house, but I never really seen the outside of a house, like a mansion, nothing like that.
That's because all the houses he be in is just like Airbnbs and rentals. Because he just be in spots for just temporary, Yeah. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Like you got guys out here like Grant Cardone, who's who's a huge real estate mogul.
He's a billionaire.
He don't buy houses. He rather rent them. It ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. It's just
Yeah,
a
I heard
strategy.
other rich people say the same thing. Like they'd rather just
Yeah.
move around.
I don't disagree with that either, because it all depends on how much income you bring in a month versus to how much you putting out to where you living at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it all depends on your situation when it comes to that. But
And
when
your
you
lifestyle. You're like,
I mean,
yeah.
I was just thinking that it's something is like wrong with a person who, I don't know, it's something in his mind, like that's what you resort to in your time of, you already know you going through a situation and you just going, go out, be out here committing more crime, is there not anything else you can do to make money? Those are the questions that running through my head. But I guess it's not. I guess the only thing he literally knows how to do is be a scammer. So
Yeah.
well, like, listen, like, wait, my bad, Amber. Was you about to? Is Amber on here?
No, go ahead.
Oh, all right. No, but
all,
I was about to.
go ahead.
Huh? No, you can go ahead.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna say, when it all is said and done on the other side of all of this, it's just gonna be just more stuff racked up against him, because he also was teaching people how to do PPP fraud. When the beginning of the pandemic, he was telling you how to scam and get that money. So
All right, so let me finish what I was about to say. So, my fault. I don't want to seem like I'm cutting you off, but I just got an idea, because I met Dr. Umar when I was probably 11, 12. I'll be 30 in 2 weeks. You feel me? And he been talking about the school situation.
18 years, man.
that's what you call the long con.
Yeah,
Right.
but nah, you gotta understand, with me, I was meeting him through my sister. My sister was introducing me to this conscious, quote unquote, community. So I met him through that, and I saw him do a lecture back when I was a kid. And I've listened to him over the years as I've developed. And about when I was 23, 24, I realized yo, this nigga is talking in circles, bro. And I can't just keep listening to him because I'm not getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And that's what I realized about a lot of these people, including Polite, because after a while, the learning kind of plateaus, and it's almost like, well, how can I implement this stuff that I learned into my life? And you can't.
Okay.
Right? You have to go to other people. You have to go to more experienced, more learned, more, experienced people to be able to.
That education stuff, that stuff that they're talking about, they want to teach you. That's like the bait to get you in. Once they get you, it's the romancing, right? To get you in relationship. And then once you're in the relationship, you realize they don't really have anything to offer you. They're just taking.
Right.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is the smartest people in the room are the people who can eventually realize yo, this is some bullshit.
Right.
Versus to the people who keep donating money and keep sending money to these people acting like, yo, something's going to change. No, it is the exact same person you've been seeing the whole time, but you have this facade over your eyes because you have this thing you're trying to connect with them with, and you're not going to.
That's right. Yep. It's like a worshiping. And
yeah,
I think
it's part of religion in itself.
I think it's a part of the religious mind. I mean, I gotta admit it.
Yeah.
The worst
people like to tap into that spookiness that's left in us somewhere. Now, Polite is a couple reasons why I think people ride with him. Because even myself, I was pulling for him only because I felt like he represented the people like myself who didn't go to college and got a degree, and we are the autodidacts. So we looking like, I see, the autodidact can hang with the scholars, so we're actually pulling from good, he's one of us. but not realizing that the same black man, black woman who's from the urban area who went to college is like you. They just did the right way. So they're both like you, just that one person way is
Well,
more
not even,
expensive.
well,
More
not even that. You still got autodidacts out here you still got autodidacts out here who like, for example, like at my job, it's a nigga who been working there since 95, and he didn't go to school to be an engineer, but he's called an engineer and he gets paid engineer salary to this day. And he has patents under his name, under his NASA patent. Well, NASA lets you patent certain things, certain methodologies that you create to be able to implement certain things, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he has a bunch of patents that is in space right now for the past 25, 26 years, and he didn't go to school for none of that. And I'm in that same boat kind of, because I didn't necessarily go to school. I did go to training courses and I got certificates, but I didn't go to school. But yet I'm in that same kind of position.
Yeah, so that's why I believe Polite can lasted so long and got a little supportive still. Like it's nowhere near like his reign is his influence, his attraction is nowhere near as it once was. Like people definitely fell off. That's why I keep trying to target like new people. But that's why I felt like people's hanging on because he represented like especially like if you're in a cons community, you know, it's like a battle rapper, right? If they about to make it, or a street ball like Skip to My Lou, when they about to make it, like everybody, you know, crowd around them because this is the one that's going to get everybody else on, you know, get everybody else exposure. So I think that's why people was kind of like hoping, like making excuses for like when they seen the flaws, the lies, you know, it's a buildup of things, right? Regardless of the exposés, you know, the guy know everything. He knows everything, and you never see his buildup. Like for us, you could tell when Chef is looking at something because he'll mention it. You'll hear it in his beginning stages. Like you'll see all of us have our beginning stages when we're talking about something, and then we'll grow into it. For Polite, everything he ever talked about, he's already a guru in it. It's like, God damn, dude, you a master of everything that you talk about. Like it's nothing you're in the learning stages about.
You gotta be skeptical of people like that, man. That's so crazy you just said that, because I was just talking about that today, yo. It'd be people out here who just speak on stuff and they don't know nothing about it and they sound so crazy because you haven't even given them context on what you saying and they already trying to respond. You know what I mean? So yeah, people gotta watch out for stuff like that. But
and the thing with Umar, now that he's mentioned Dr. Umar, for one, I never knew when even like the panelists. I asked people, you know, in person, like, yo, what would be the reason for a school, like an all black school? And nobody really could ever give me a good reason, like the reason for an all black school. Like, because I'd be like, what's wrong with school today? And again, never a good reason. Like I can't even get a good bad reason for why schools are bad today. Like people got that they hate public schools so much they can't give you a straight direct answer. Why are public schools no good for black folks? And I still have yet to hear one today. And so that's one thing. Secondly, as a school psychologist, right?
I don't like how public schools are forcing gender wars down our fucking.
Oh yeah, well,
that's
I had kids.
But look, yeah. So that part is more like political. Like you know, I think Democrats are more responsible for that. That because Republicans don't mess with that at all. So that's more like a political side thing. You know, the Democrats be pushing that one. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I agree with you. I'm just
yeah. But I'm talking about as far as curriculum though. I'm talking about as far as a study. Like, what are black kids learning in the public schools? Like, not just gay stuff. I'm talking about just like a math, reading, science, that type of stuff. Gym, lunch. Like, what are those things? And so this LGBTQIA, like that addition is fairly new. Like these feelings that black people had, it goes back way before this you know, this dress up queen inside the library. It goes way before that. So I think that's an argument that's been placed in us as never really there.
when I say the whole, you know, gender wars thing, it's not an argument about being gay. I don't give a fuck about you being gay. I don't care about what you do in your household. But what I'm saying is like the difference is between when we were growing up is that what you did in your household and what your sexual preferences was didn't really matter to the outside world. And to be honest with you, a lot of the shows that we grew up with as we were, you know, let's say between the age of 0 to fucking 13, 14, you didn't even see husband and wives in the same damn bed. You feel me? On these public shows. You didn't see it. They would
Yeah.
have twin beds in the fucking bedroom. Like if you reference shows like Seventh Heaven back in the fucking 90s, like you didn't sleep in the bed with your wife. If you watch Martin, it wasn't until like the very like last 2 seasons, maybe the last season, when Martin and Gina was like just a few seconds in the bed together. Like we didn't see none of that, man. And it's just like now you got full blown pornos out here on TV. And I'm just like, man, if I had kids right now, like I wouldn't want them watching TV at all. I don't even want to send them to school. I want to homeschool them
Right.
for enough time to be able to pregame them for the world so they can go out here and kind of have a strategy.
Now,
Yeah, and then when you go into the schools, the public schools, for instance, you have the influence of everybody else's what they doing or not doing at home.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I would, if I had children, I wouldn't
Hold
want
on,
them in
sis.
public school either.
Hold on, sis. Have you ever thought about this though? Like, what if your kid come home from public school and they say, "Oh yeah, you know, I met this great teacher today. She was helping me out or whatever, whatever. But he looks like you, but he says he's a she like mommy, and whoop de
Right.
whoop. Like
Right.
what you
That's
like
a
you introducing this concept to my child before I could even introduce it.
right. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a
now you're,
Yeah.
yeah,
So what public schools, what they would say, public schools is beneficial because they would say, social skills, right? And your kid is not a weirdo. Your kid got social skills. They know how to get along with other people and not stand out, right? Because once you stand out, you're considered the weirdo person, and society kind of like, kind of tease you or bully you. So public schools like kind of get you used to socializing with other people.
right. Different people.
Right. Other people, yep, they look like you and don't look like you and all that. That's good about that. But yeah, so people who keep their kids hidden, they like other kids would know right away, something up with that person. And then kids can be brutal. Let's not go around that person. They're crazy. All those things start to happen. The slightest unnormal thing you do as like 13 and down, like to about, I'll say in between 9 and 13. Those most important years. You dig? If you act like the slightest weird, man, you're done. Like you are tagged weird forever.
Yeah. Now I understand why certain people are very adamant, and not everybody has the luxury, to be quite honest, but certain people are very adamant about where they live because they know in certain communities their child is going to have an opportunity to have a really good quality school life.
Yeah.
And I mean, people they hinge their whole life around the quality of the school in those neighborhoods. Like that's like if you have children, like the top of your priority.
You gotta look at it like this, right? To piggyback off of what you're saying, like a lot of us don't necessarily believe this as a life, as this is how life works. But whether we believe it or not, we're all a product of our environment, and that all stems out of evolution, right?
Yeah.
And we all observe that whether or not we agree with it or not. And it's based off of whether or not you're able to see that your environment influences
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z, right? So for example, my father came from a suburban area of Baltimore, Maryland, whereas though it was nothing but white people out there. You feel me? All they listening to is classic rock and shit like that. And my mother, she from in town, Baltimore. And both of them was able to see where they grew up at and was able to remove themselves from that situation and create a better environment for their offspring. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That was all a process. It wasn't something that happened, overnight. What I'm saying is like throwing your kid into that environment, whereas though they're now questioning things that you didn't prepare for, you're now having to adjust on site to something that you planned for being your child, right? If you are probably moderately successful, got your head on your shoulders, you probably 9 times out of 10 planned for your child, or you were in a position where as though you can move things around to be able to raise your child in a way that is respectful. So in that being a factor, you shape that kid's environment by putting them in the right area, aka the area would mean the people in that area, which would mean the people who would be in the schools, which would mean if you can agree with the people in the area, it would probably mean that would translate to the kids in the schools. So you can, you know what I mean? You can have some sort of control over what goes on in their life. But if you don't have that control and now you're throwing monkey wrenches everywhere, and now every day your child is coming home with new things that they have learned that is really outside of the school spectrum as far as like teaching a curriculum, right? Because the personality of your favorite teacher doesn't really equate to the curriculum, right? So when you have things like that coming into play, like you really got to think about, all right, what kind of world are we raising our kids in? What kind of world are we accepting to be? Where are we going with this? How would this look in 20 years, right? I don't know. I just think about stuff like that.
So, Ms. Tiff, if you look at my screen, this is what you're going into. So, and also Zen, when you go to a city, like to move in, the average person is looking for a quality school, right? A good school. When you see when a city has good schools, the homes will cost some money, right? So the homes value goes with the school. So the school dictates the property value of a home, property value period in home. And then you see the dollars at the bottom, that's the taxes, right? Because the home, when you a homeowner, more tax dollar goes towards the city, period. But definitely back to the school system. So it's like a revolving thing. Schools, homes, dollars, back to the schools, homes become more money, more tax dollars. So that's how that works. But I want to quickly insert this, because we evolved past Umar. The last thing, I want y'all to know that he school clinical psychologist, but he has an issue with ADD and modern medication. And he's not the only clinical school psychologist to have a problem with modern, an alternative to modern medication to address, these mental illness, I guess, or issues with a kid. But I do want to say this: he is in his own lane, in a crazy clown sense, right? He's the only doctor. He's the only doctor that I know on planet Earth that believes that there's a third alternative, because other doctors believe like just a healthy diet is a better alternative to modern medication for like just ADHD. He's the only doctor that I know on the planet Earth who believes that it's not the healthy diet, it's not the modern medication, it's no daddy at home syndrome. Like, he's the only doctor to say that stupid shit.
Yeah, but I don't think he's an actual clinician. I mean, he can be a doctor. He could have a PhD, but I don't think that he is an actual.
But I just want to note that he's
psychologist.
well, whatever the hell he is, I just want to note that he's by himself with that. There's no
Okay.
white, there's no black, there's no Chinese, nobody's going with that. Like they think he's a straight quack.
Right.
I
Right.
just want to say for the record, I am a John Hopkins, ADHD test subject for the matter of like at least 3 years.
With the
Wow.
lead poison?
You said what?
With the lead, was that concerned the lead poison thing?
Hell no, I ain't had
Okay.
no lead poisoning. That's
Yeah.
why my peoples moved me from East Baltimore.
All
But
right.
I'm saying I had I clinically am diagnosed with ADHD. I've just managed to figure out a way to live life. But I mean, yeah, I'm clinically diagnosed.
Right.
And I had to like every year for like a period of like 3 years, like 6 months, every 6 months. Well, yeah, every 3 to 6 months, something like that. I would have to go to John Hopkins and get an MRI and do a series of tests and stuff like that.
Yeah. Chemical imbalances, like we talked about that before with different things. I think that's just part of, this is my personal opinion, nothing I read from anything, just personal opinion. I just think that's just the humans, like that's just a human natural problem. Like, just humans just go through that shit.
People say that everybody learns differently. That's
exactly.
a form of learning differently, right? You have to develop a different way outside of what school says that you need to develop to learn, right? And that was just my main problem. You got school giving you one particular way of learning, when learning is you can learn from so many different ways. Like a lot of people say that if you look at things, if you observe things, you can't learn it because you're not doing it. But that's not true. You can always look at people and learn things and make choices based off of what they did. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just a little bit more deeper.
School one way will be called generic or general, right? Because like you said, people learn different ways. And the way school try to reach out to everybody, it don't focus on one particular way. It try to consider all the ways and try to give the best method to teach, to pretty much try to reach as many people as possible.
So listen. I agree with you, but to give you more context, the way that I was considered for having ADHD is because my school determined that the way that I was learning wasn't that quote unquote generalized way. So I may have a disability. Right. So being as though I didn't have that what they would call a general way of learning, now I have some sort of disease.
Not disease, but you require a different type of attention, right? A different type of learning style, a teaching style.
Well, to the white people, it's just a disability, regardless, right? So if you treat it like a disability, it is a disability, but it's not a disability. It's just a different way of processing information.
Disability. I'm not sure if that's the correct term for ADD or ADHD. Matter of fact,
I'm not trying to be scientifically correct. I'm just talking about how people look at it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Because ADD and ADHD are a little different, and because the H in the ADHD is hyper. So people, so being calm and collective, and gather your thoughts a little late or a little delayed time. A delayed time reaction is a little different than the person who's hyper as hell, who can't sit down, who's in everybody's face. Like that person is going to be more disruptive, right? That person's going to be a little different.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But I got I got diagnosed with that. Like I'm not a hyper person.
You
Yet
know,
I
you
do
got
feel
diagnosed with
a lot of
ADD or ADHD.
you said what?
Did you get ADD or ADHD?
No, I'm clinically diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay, ADHD, right? Yeah, because I don't know.
Some
Like
type
Umar,
of
he might be right about one
attention
thing.
disorder.
He said they
But
might have dropped the ADD altogether and just added the
yeah,
H to it.
that's kind of what I'm alluding to, bro. It's not anything really clinically specific that is a that is a differential from ADD and ADHD. It's all
Yeah,
behavioral
yeah, yeah. It's probably like a spectrum. They just add everything there.
spectrum, right, 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 right.
Yeah, yeah. So from there, you know, moms and because from Umar, what Umar was saying, like back to what he was saying, he's saying, I watched a lot of his live streams or call-ins with moms, and he was just saying like mothers can request, like the school has to, like once they diagnose a kid with ADHD, the school has to teach, provide the expert to teach that kid in a way where they could best,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I had tutors. I had,
yeah.
if I needed extra time for tests, I could go out to class, all that extra stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about the parents? And Amber will get mad at me, but what about the parents who act like, nah, my kid ain't got shit wrong with my kid. It's a government conspiracy, that Umar shit, and then just ignore all that stuff and try to put their kid in the classes where they're gonna teach them generically, teach her generically, and they
They
just
wrong.
flunk out.
They wrong, yo. They wrong.
Because you
They
got a lot of
wrong.
parents who are in denial. I ain't around my baby, that not fuck all that government conspiracy. It's the fluoride, that goofy shit.
Yo, I mean, this is purely anecdotal, but this is real life. But I got a aunt, you feel me? Like my mother been telling because my mother worked in the medical field. So she's very much attentive on that type of stuff. So, you know, my mother been telling my aunt since she had her sons, and her son's probably like, 10 years older than me. And she like, hey, I think this son got, a development issue.
Yeah.
He can't speak correctly. You probably need to go take him to get checked out and, work on his speech. No,
What
she
is he doing
denied.
wrong
She
specifically?
denied. Huh?
What's his issue specifically?
Um, well, all right. So he's not he's not really able to he might be like a lead kid, if I can just sum it up.
Okay, gotcha. All
If
right.
you know lead, people symptoms like short
Nah, I know.
attention span, all that other stuff, like yeah, that would be probably him. You feel me? Like he got a decent job and he was able to keep a decent job, but it was because his wife at the time applied for the job and she like did all that stuff for him. But once
Yeah,
he got there, he was able to like keep it and be, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
he's not that type of person that could like follow through with like detailed shit. Like even if you talking to him, if you don't really know him, you might not be able to keep up with what the fuck he talking about. But I mean, you feel me? Again, if you live in the hood, you can keep up with slang. So you might be able to understand Ebonics. You know what I mean? So it's nothing for us. But in the real world, it is like a problem that we
the
ain't
Watcher. What
addressed.
you got, the Watcher? Want to add in?
My boy.
All right. He might. I don't know. Maybe you're on mute. Yeah, he's on mute. Yeah. So I was trying to get to like, is he? Some people have a problem with saying things backwards. Like he might be trying to say, shoot the basketball, but say something like the basketball is shoot, and then I was trying to figure out if that's his problem or is he like stuttering like really
Nah,
badly. He can't even get out
nah,
some
he's
words.
a stutterer and he just can't enunciate words correctly.
Like,
But he's never been able to. Like my mom's been telling her this since he was a baby. because she could just tell that he wasn't like developing at the same rate as like some of her other kids or whatnot. But my aunt was just like, no, he fine. Like, you
Yeah,
feel
I'm
me?
about to say, how was that missed during his like elementary year? Because like those kids, like I mean, those
It
teachers
wasn't
like
missed,
kind of
bro.
keen on that.
It was really just purely ignored. It was just negligence, to be
By
honest
the
with you.
parent or the teacher, you think?
By the parent.
Okay, I got you. Right.
Bro, as a parent, like my mother told me specifically, like she knew I needed more attention than like my sister, for example. You feel me? My sister
Yeah.
just naturally got things quicker than I would, but I would need more attention. So my mother would go get me tutorers, and if a tutorer didn't work, then she would, like, for example, when I was in 7th grade, I was failing 7th grade, and I had a tutorer coincidentally at the same time because I was struggling in math. And my tutorer, my mother was like, yeah, he failing. I don't know why he failing. He coming to you, whoopie whoop. And she started checking over my work and realized like one of my teachers was literally failing me on purpose. So my mother took me out of school. So like my mom was really like adamant like that. Like
Yeah, real active.
if she saw some shit going on, it was like, nah, I'm gonna get you a tutor, or nah, I'm gonna take you out, or nah, you feel me? Like it was attention. You feel me? A lot of these mothers these days ain't got that attention like that. You feel me? They not paying it. They more so worried trying to get a man or trying to get some dick than they is trying to pay attention to their kids' education and how they developing. You feel me? Like that's some real shit.
Yeah, I think that's important. And um,
And
like
I got a homegirl, like best friend that's a teacher who teaches middle school, and she literally echoes the same shit I just said because she sees these ratchet ass females who come up to the school every day. But go ahead, my bad. For real, bro, the story she be telling me is crazy. Like these boys be really in there talking like I'm talking about 5th and 6th grade, they be talking like, hey Miss Sydney, you looking sexy today. Like she like, what?
yeah, that's
You know what I mean? Like, where are you hearing like crazy stuff? So
yeah.
shit.
And you know what? Unfortunately, with human beings, the human beings can be racist. Because you spoke about evolution earlier. Like this is just part of the heat of human species. Like we could be racist, we could stereotype, we could discriminate, and we go with stereotypes a lot. Like we stereotype a lot. So when a race already have a view on black people, especially black boys and black men, when there's a stigma already attached to us, and then we go out there in public and we actually mimic and play out those stereotypes, little boys over sexualizing. Because believe me, when I do, y'all all gonna hate me, right? Because I'm supposed to be having a debate with DJ Focus, but I don't know. Let's see if he's serious. But it's about hip hop and about because the way I already always heard about hip hop, and this is still along the same lines you're just talking about over sexualizing. Hip hop, people would act like this was the gospel, like this was some old, Prophet Muhammad coming from the caves type doctrine. But when I look at the origins, when I watched the documentary Planet Rock, I look at the origins, I'm like, oh shit, no wonder hip hop dusty today. It was always dusty. Like it had its moments of brightness, but it always had a dark, dusty, uh, beginning. Like drugs and crime was always tied to hip hop. So I'm like, wait a minute. So why people trip now when rappers rap about the same shit they rap about in the beginning? But also what a lot of rappers do, even the women, they so with the men rappers, they were saying like they're over tough. Like they like just completely just fucking over tough, right? They call it masculine toxicity is all in rap. And then they say because that's about status, right? In order to be a dope rapper, you got to be tough as fuck. You got to be able to beat everybody's ass, and you got to be real thorough, like the hood OG. Like that's just who you got to be as a rapper. And every dope rapper, if you think about it, like he's the face of the group or the gang or whatever. and he probably ain't shit in the real game. And also that same rapper, if he's not a gangster, he's a womanizer, right? He gets all the women, he has all the sex. Like nobody has more sex than him, and he has sex with everybody woman, right? And then if you ain't that guy, today's new rapper is the guy who does the most drugs and drink the most alcohol. So that's the new status today, like with the young crew. The rap's kind of dope how it's breaking it down. They're saying in this group, the person who's the most authentic, who get the most women, are the people who does the most drugs, who drinks the most alcohol. Like this is where it's at today. So it went from male toxicity to womanizing, over sexualize himself, to the biggest, and then it was like the biggest drug dealer. Now it's the biggest drug user and the person who consumed the most alcohol.
Bro, that's because you got 70% of women out here who want a man who make over 50 grand, and that's only 50% of men. And then you want a man most women want a man who's over 5'9", which is also decreasing it from 50% to like 30%.
Yeah.
And then that's 70% of the women on the market competing for 30% of the men.
Right.
So you got 30% of the men who make over 50 grand.
That's 5'9" and taller.
Who probably has a career, who really doesn't need 70% of these women. They need the 30%.
Right.
But the 30% probably has a career, and they can't compete with the 70% of women that always is in your face.
Right.
Being the 30%.
Right.
You got the men who is outside of that 30% who doesn't have a career, trying to compete to be like that 30% man who is gangster, who is finding all these other different methods of trying to be that valuable man, and you just finding other niggas. You feel me? And you got this revolving door of women saying they hate niggas and niggas saying that they fuck bitches. And they make music about it. You feel me? And the only reason why they making music about it is because it's selling. That's it. If it didn't sell, they wouldn't make music about it.
Exactly.
If women ain't accept the drug dealer nigga, if they stop fucking drug dealers, then they would stop being drug dealers.
Right.
Like it's a hand in hand marriage, man. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that goes back to that boy. So when the teacher, and let's say she's non-black, she listened to all that hip hop, or she heard about it, or you can't avoid it on the radio. So you hear the womanizing lyrics, over sexualizing men, and then you hear the stereotypes, so not just the music, you grew up hearing the stereotypes amongst, their class of people, their ethnicity, whatever their group. And then now you're a teacher and you see it play out right in front of you. Like, that's like, to them, that's like confirmation. Like, wow, these black boys, these black men aren't shit when it comes to women. Like, they really can't. The R. Kellys, the Bill Cosby, you did the Sean Watson. Like, this just further confirmation. Oh yeah, these niggas ain't shit. Like, they're just horny, uncontrollable, just crazy niggas. By the way, which was all the rhetoric of the Confederates leading to the Civil War. They did everything that we say about ourselves today, like when I just talked about the over-sexualizing, that was the rhetoric of the Confederates leading up to the Civil War. Like, why you want to free these dumb niggas? All they're gonna do is the women are gonna be Jezebels and niggas is gonna rape your women. Yeah, they just all they think about sex all day. And so these were the Confederates, because they want to keep slavery. They say, let these guys remain slaves. They ain't shit. Society, they're gonna just kill, rob, and steal and rape. And then, like, when you fast forward in 2022, so we talk about sex. That's all we talk about. And again, that's just confirmation for some people who don't live around black people, who just believe the stereotypes. and then we wonder why we get redlined. You know, I'm sure that helps the redlining process. That helps all these other racial motivated practices. You know, because they already have a stereotype, and we're just confirming
Well,
it.
it's not. I don't even necessarily agree that it's just us. Like the whole fact that we see a gender movement being pushed in the past, well, since Obama up to now, like we're obviously seeing a more shift into sexualize everything. Like the fact that you can have sex without having a kid and not be accountable for the sex that you have. You know, you gotta imagine that people are out here just doing shit. And you know, being as though we probably all been in social situations and heard stories, like they do be out here doing shit. I mean, the articles and the numbers and the statistics may not have caught up yet, but I mean, we all, you know, I'm pretty sure our ears are open out here, and we see the TV shows and all this other type of stuff going on out here to be able to show us that yes, they are dipping and dabbing in everything from women to, you know,
Yeah, but you
people
know
that,
what? But you can't see somebody's private life though. But you can definitely hear somebody's public lyrics though.
yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in their music, yeah, I'd be so I get so mad because when I hear like the pop music, it'd be actually dope, right? But when you listen to the words, it'd be so clean. Like God, even like the white rappers be so clean. Like damn, I said, oh, so you could make clean, good rap music because you see it with what's the dude, the white boy, think he won an award, some shit, best rapper or something like that. I forgot. But the white boy, he's pretty good. And his music be clean as hell. And you got a lot of white singers, music actually trending, dope, but clean.
That's right. Jack Harlow.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Jack Harlow. It was somebody before him. He was very popular. I thought he was black when I first heard him.
Post Malone or something.
Yeah, there you go. That dude. I heard some songs, like these songs are actually dope, but it was very clean. So I'm like, so rap could be that, and I can't say back, but it could be because rap always had a negative past in my mind. But
Yeah, look at Will Smith, but look at how far Will Smith got as a rapper.
yeah, but look, but he was able, but Will Smith could do something that no other gangster rap can do. Will Smith he'd be like retire like a mug and could come back out, drop a hit. No other gangster could do that. But once a gangster rapper is done, like Jadakiss and these guys trying to make music now, they'll never, be able to drop a hit.
One thing you gotta understand about rap is that it's rap. It is gangster. It is a genre in itself that is gangster. If you want to talk about people like Thundercat, who is black people who is doing like alternative music, he got Michael McDonald and all these other people in his joint. All right, cool. If you want to talk about K Tronada, you know what I mean, who's another, black artist who's like a DJ, you know what I mean, who's doing, that's different genres. These are all positive music, which is what you're talking about. But when you're talking about rap in particular, when people think about rap genre, they think about gangster shit. So I can understand why it would be associated with gangster shit because it came up out of gangster shit, just like how you were saying.
Yeah.
Like there was never a time where rap wasn't gangster.
Right. And like that was like surprising when I found that out because that's like kind of hidden. People act like it wasn't. It had this beautiful beginning. Like, hold up. No.
If you're talking about hip hop,
that too.
Then no, but you got hip hop that come out of the blues.
No, I ain't talking about blues. I'm talking about rapping, Run DMC,
and even the blues.
Curtis Blow.
God damn.
I'm talking about rapping. No blues. No, I don't want nothing leading up to rap. I don't want that. I want the missing link. I want the actual human now.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I can't argue with that. You're right.
So now Thursday, you said Kiss got it. Jadakiss got it. Yeah, he got it, but he was never really good at making good songs though. He was never good at making a good song. Like with a
He a great feature though.
yeah.
You throw him on the
Now, yeah, he'll definitely hold your song down. He'll hold your hit down. But he cannot make a hit him damn self, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, because it gets too like you want to talk about talking in circles like that. That's kind of what I look at his rap bars just being circular rhyming and shit. Every verse sound the same. Like he said the same shit. Boppity 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 bop. Boppity boppity bop.
He on the 10th bar rhyming with the 3rd bar.
Yeah, he was really horrible making songs, man. Very horrible.
So nah, I'm just he ain't that bad. I thought, but yeah.
Sunshine said, I remember growing up, and this was discussed on the show Teen Summit. There was a time when there was a multitude of different rap genres. There was conscious, gangster, house, techno, and southern twang. Okay, can someone have an episode like that? I wish I'd have seen it.
My girl and her mom, she loved house music, man. Like they listen to house music, Detroit, especially on some like cooking or cleaning, whatever.
Nah, it definitely was genres though. I remember, you know, and that's how people like Talib Kweli was able to survive. Common Sense was able to survive. You know, they weren't like your gangster rappers like that.
That's all we be listening to like them, Jay Dilla, like we love people like that. Like, yeah.
Lupe Fiasco, Black Thought.
Exactly.
You know, I used to like to. I'm a little older, so I used to love the Diggable Planets. Cool like that. Cool like yeah, that was my song right there.
Yep. On the playlist.
Yeah, so it's interesting. But back to the kid, yeah. So I'm seeing that behavior, and I'm sure it's done by white people, white boys too, and everybody else. But don't forget, like we keep forgetting we're actually equal. Like didn't we hear black folks got to be double better than a white person? So why, when we get held to the fire, we mention a white person as though they are equal? When we know that black folks got to be double, we got to work double harder. Our image got to be double, you know, cleaner. Everything about us got to be double, or at least more than our white counterpart. But we act dumb when we're held to the fire and we bring up somebody white. It's like, oh, stop, man. We're not equal in this society. You know, you got the white collar crime, you got nigger crimes, you dig black and black crimes. That's a big difference. Blue collar and all that type of stuff. Our crime is always seen as some cannibalistic, some old inhumane, and all those type of words. Senseless.
People don't want to hear it, but I mean, you know, we all, depending on where we are in life, we all have our certain levels of, you know, capabilities, should I say. You know what I mean? Like, depending on where you are, you can make choices, like super radical choices to get yourself out of where you are. But at the end of the day, you are still a product of your environment. So depending on how deep you are into something, the chances of you getting out of that is slim to none.
Yeah, I think we messed up when we start to like glorify like our, like for example, but let me jump shit real fast. I had a friend say, I heard this before too, so I was waiting for somebody to say it. So I had a friend say, yeah, man, you know, a low percentage of whites own slaves, anywhere from 4 to 6% white folks own slaves. So the other 94 to 96% was complicit. They just as guilty and blah, 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 blah. They just stood by. So I said, wait a minute, my bro. Wait a minute, my boy. Ho. You want to go that route? I said, all right, well, look at our cities where gangs, we could hold Chicago, Detroit, all these horrible cities, Newark, where gangs run rampant. I don't see black folks out there protesting. I don't see black folks out there going to the cops, calling, those phone calls and getting niggas locked up for telling them. No, we're just as complicit with our bullshit the same way the whites were during their time. And I'll tell you why. Is because even though 94% of whites did not own slaves and only like 6% was really running the country, those 94% didn't know that they were that large. They also believed that more white folks owned slaves because they made it look like that, like the people that was in power. Like the powerful gonna make their power look bigger and stretch more than what it is. They're gonna make sure that they look numerous. You dig? They're not gonna let you know they're only 4 deep. When you hear the war about the gang, the Bloods and Crips, in California, the Bloods had to like really stick together, like more than the Crips did, or vice versa. I forgot which one was. Yeah, I think it was the Bloods. Yeah, the Bloods had to stick harder. They had to be more inhumane, cannibal, bloodthirsty. So the strong is gonna always make the majority feel like they're the minority. Like they're never going to let you see a majority power. So it works both ways. The strong is always going to appear stronger than.
You're right, but let me go into that just a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
I look at it like humans training wolves to be domesticated dogs. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
over time you feed them certain certain behavioral patterns to where as though you're training them to behave in a certain way without them even knowing it.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is that's how I see a lot of information that comes in from
Right. Yeah. I think that's a good way to look at it.
So I understand totally what you're saying.
Yeah. Like you said,
Umar would say, I overstand, my brother.
you understand. Yeah. Yeah. Even what you just said about like people are a product of their environment. Like they don't know that. Like they don't know the environment was shaping them. The dude got jumped, right? He got jumped. So that's one type of mold, right? He experienced that. He ain't feel too good. He's angry, and then he might got a baby mama, right? So he's molded again. Then he might have been racially, profiled. You see, so all these things are just molding him into who he didn't want to be.
Right.
So Sunshine said, I think artists have been dealt a serious negative blow now that everyone is grouped in one category. And Sunshine said, you can't put rappers like Mos Def, Guru, or Speech into the same category as rappers prancing around talking about nonsense and looking like unicorns and popping lollipops.
Nobody was putting them in the same category, that's for sure.
Yeah, nah, hell no.
We was trying to make a distinction between positive rap and negative rap. That's all.
Yeah, you had a whole wave of positive rap at one point. Yeah, like a whole.
I mean, come on, you had what's the dude who's on Unc's Smash? You had Smash.
Oh, yeah.
His group from the 90s, they was really a popular rap
What's
group.
his group?
No cap. X Factor, right? Big X.
You talking about X Clan?
X Clan.
That was his group.
Yeah, X Clan. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to love X Clan, bro. This is the red and black and green. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, their beats used to be hard, bro.
Go YouTube X Clan and you'll see Smash on it.
Really? All right, I gotta do that. I ain't never know that.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, not just their group, but yeah, that I'm just saying that's somebody we know and pride and shook hands with him. So yeah, but it was a whole wave. Even Busta Rhymes back then was
leaders in the new school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but Busta always been positive though. I don't remember him being
But what was that group he was in at first though?
leaders of the new school.
Leading the New School. Yeah.
Leaders of the new school.
Yeah. Leaders in New
Yeah,
School. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people
Yeah, but Busta
pivoted.
always been positive though.
But again, people pivoted like Bus because of where the market was going.
Right, you gotta
Right.
adapt.
You just gotta adapt. What do people like? What are people buying?
Right.
And during that time, 3 6 Mafia was very popular.
Yep.
Heavy metal was starting to get popular. You
Limp
know,
Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit was getting popular. Yep. You gotta understand in 1999, that was one of the biggest what you call it? Woodstock events that ever happened. There was hundreds of thousands of people in Woodstock. You feel me? For Limp Bizkit concert, rock concert. It was a couple rappers there, whatever. Like that was the music pivotal time. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you gotta understand. I mean, granted, that's a few years after where we talking about where we our reference point from a few seconds ago, but I'm just saying you building up to that point.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of music stuff happening. You know, MTV Raps is going on. All these new shows is coming out, happening. Technology is happening. You got computers coming. Like a lot of stuff is happening. So you just seeing the exponential movement of it.
Yeah. So I was watching, you know, like they be having like some short mini documentaries on like Chicago rappers, you know. And that's crazy, man. I was watching some of these guys. Now they always young. They always in between 14 and like 23. I always say 24, 14 and 24. Straight, at least in Chicago, straight like born into the life, like killing to them is nothing like that. Just so they all got guns, 14-year-olds, 15, 16, 17. And like it's nothing for a 20-year-old, 24-year-old to shoot a 14-year-old. That's nothing.
Nah, man, that stuff, it's really like Iraq, like for real. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah.
crazy.
After watching these documentaries, yeah, like they yeah, it's
It's really, yo, the other day, what was that, 4 or 5 days ago, they posted a King Von video, brand new King Von video. I'm like, I asked my girl, like, yo, didn't King Von die? And
yeah.
she
I
like,
like
yeah.
yeah. I seen the one. I like the one he did with Fabio Foreign. That's my song. Really good.
Bro, 4 days ago, they posted a brand new video of this
Yeah,
guy.
he got a couple
It got
videos with Lil
2
Durk.
million views, bro.
Yeah, nah, it's actually hard. It's a nice song.
I mean, I bet, but golly, they got, you ain't see the interview with French Montana on I forgot what podcast he was on, but he was saying that record labels is taking insurance claims out on people
Oh
now.
yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Shit, I would.
But I mean, that would explain, you know what I mean? Like, yo, we got more money to push out this video. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy out here.
Yeah, nah, I definitely would. Because producers, like, they know a little more than the fans because they see them in the studio, they hear them talking about certain things. They're like, yo, this nigga about to die, yo. This nigga, yo, they just shot at him the other day. Yeah, they're like, all right, you put this insurance claim on this clown.
Bro,
Yeah, I can definitely
these
believe that.
guys in Chicago are literally like a block or 2 blocks from where they beefing from. So like, if you just moving, like, say you gotta go to Dunkin' Donuts on your way to work, it's problems. Like, you
Yeah, I've been
feel
hearing like these dudes be at bus stops, they be going to bodegas getting shot at. Like, god
yeah,
damn,
it's
man.
wild, bro. It's really wild. Like, nah.
Yeah, they can't like really leave the house, to be honest.
I mean, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Yeah, they don't see it like that. Sunshine said, I don't think listeners are put it into one category. People who grew up listening to hip hop artists understand there are distinct differences. I think those who are in control of the industry is forcing junk down our throats. Yeah, so don't forget, everything's a business. So the way I explain this is if Zen is selling apples and he's selling bananas, and he needs my investment, right? He needs $15,000 so he can grow it because he needs more help. And his bananas, he's selling. He's selling. He needs more hands. He needs a bigger cart, whatever it is he needs, right? He needs $15,000 investment, and I get some type of return or I get some type of percentage in this business. Well, guess what? As an investor, I'm going to know, like, dude, where's the money going? And let me see what sells. And if I see 90% of his sales are from bananas and only 10% is in apples, I'll be like, yo, I want none of my money going towards apples. So the investors, when they see the direction of hip hop, right, to where it took, and they see what music sells, and they see that's it. They're like, no. I don't care what artist you are coming in. I don't care if you're a Christian artist. Listen, you're gonna sell some drugs. You're gonna join one of these gangs or fake it. This is all the money is at. Yeah, you're gonna drop Jesus, you're gonna be selling some of these drugs and killing niggas, or you're gonna be lying, at least lie. Because this is what sells. It doesn't matter who buys it, because a lot of white folks buy this shit. So white folks want to hear. I had some white guys who I played ball with. I was in that car, and like they play the worst of the rap possible. Nigga this, nigga that in every song. So like white folks love just and I ain't saying all, but the hip hop rap fans of white folks, like a lot of them like to hear this gutter shit. The nigga killed. That's like music they like. They don't want to hear Talib Kweli. They don't want to hear Lupe Fiasco, Guru, Ja Rule the Damager. They don't want to hear that. Busta Rhymes. They want to hear drill rap. That's what they want to hear.
And that's fine too. Like everything evolves, right? Like, so, I remember like I didn't want to listen to none of that. Like I still was in my whole New York phase. I ain't want to stop listening to Max B and all this other stuff. But then
hate Max
like
B.
That's another thing. But all right, cool.
Hate that nigga. hate all his songs.
Nah, you are wild, bro. But all right, cool. Whatever. Your favorite rapper is Max B's favorite rapper. I mean, man, but whatever.
Hater Max B, man. Oh my god.
Even Drake favorite rapper is Max B.
I don't give a damn. Yeah, Tupac. It could be Tupac forever. I still hate Max B.
It's all good, but all I was trying to say is that I had to pivot from what I was listening to what other people was listening to, because when I got with other people in social situations, I wouldn't know these songs, and then I would be in my own little box, and I'm like, all right, I need to branch out. So that's fine, cool. You need to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. You feel me? There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, wait till you hear my transition. I had one of those big speakers that you could carry around stuff, the JBL speaker, and I brought it to the gym. And as we played basketball, I
remember you told me this. I remember.
Yeah. It's funny, man. So I'm trying to like keep the music clean. I'm playing some Beyonce. I had like a lot of Beyonce. Beyonce got some hard hits. So I was playing a lot of Beyonce, you dig? These young niggas made me feel like I felt so bad. They're like, yo, who speaker is this? I mean, they stopped the game. Who speaker is this? They say put me on blast. I'm afraid to say me. I'm like, mine, why? They're like, yo, turn this Beyonce shit off. Yo, they made me feel like shit in order to like transition. So I'm like, all right, damn, fuck, I ain't cool. So I had to like figure out what the young niggas like. And like they would just recommend, like I was like, yo, what y'all want to hear? And that's how I learned this new stuff that I know now. I used to ask them like, yeah, what you want to hear?
I would never play Beyonce in a basketball situation with all dudes, never.
Yeah,
I
you're like
would never
drunken
do
love is hard, man. I love drunken love.
it. Nah, bro. You gotta play that in the house, my boy.
I
You gotta realize.
mean, yo, they could have pulled me to the side, said it in a nice way. Then you have to like do it like that.
Nah, yo, you supposed to know before you came in there. You should have threw what's it called? Get it back in blood or some shit.
Yeah, that wasn't out, but that wasn't out there.
I'm, I'm playing, but
Hey,
yeah.
yo, but that's how I learned about Pop Smoke though. Like real talk, I was in the gym and some young Spaniards were like, "Yo, play Pop Smoke next." I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, all right. So I put Pop Smoke in, and you know what song it was? You know that Jack Boy song?
You talking about who the kid?
Wait, I'm gonna pull it up. Yo, they was all in the car, and like their face was glowing and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. All the new music that I get is from my girl. My girl always
All right,
got
look at my screen. I'm gonna try to show everybody what they had me look. Jack. All right, there we go. I'm gonna show you which song it was. It was this one right here.
Jack
Yeah.
Boy. Jack. You ever heard of it?
So I'm like, yo, these niggas, these say killers. Like, I mean, look at this shit. I'm like, play this?
Joint got 9.9 million views. Them boys getting that take off of that video.
Yeah, these straight killers. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna play that. Like, I guess. So then like they got me onto that stuff. And then after that, they said play Pop Smoke and his music like kind of similar. And then that's when I found out about I was about to say 369. 6ix9ine. That guy Takashi, found out about him. And that's how I started learning about, and then I learned about Fabio, Foreign, and then I learned about
6ix9ine story is another crazy story, bro. That's
yeah.
kind of like a conspiracy right there. because I know you don't like Max B, but Max B's man is Mel Murder, and Mel Murder was the leader of what's the name of the gang?
Oh, Treyway?
Trey, yeah, non-Trey.
Yeah.
Non-Trey. You feel me? And
Yeah.
apparently, well, Mel Murder is Jim Jones' cousin. You feel me?
Okay.
And he was like literally a part of Bird Gang, like, you know, that's us, that Purple City.
Yeah,
Bird
that's my
Gang.
song right there.
Yeah. Like he was on that song. You feel me?
Oh yeah, he was rapping?
Yeah, man, like Mel Murder, like look up Mel Murder, bro. Like for real, Mel Murder got he be rocking. But he really a blood. He really out in these streets and he was doing what he was doing. So he got caught up on the same stuff. Basically, the conspiracy is that they like kind of like made to 6ix9ine and made him to be a clown, which is why like you
Okay.
know he had the colorful hair and all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay, I got you.
Like they pretty much made this dude to be a clown because he was just a dude around the way who was like pretty much like begging to be on.
Yeah.
And he was a bitch nigga and he had connects and he could be a face to a business. And you had the other dude who got locked up. Who was the other dude who got locked up?
Shotty.
Who? Shotty?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the manager, but he's also like the head dude of non-Trey under Mel Murder. You feel me? All that's confirmed. That's not a part of the conspiracy.
Yeah.
The conspiracy is, did they set this boy up from the beginning to be a clown?
Right.
A rap clown, basically. I mean, y'all could go wherever you want with that. But yeah, that was the conspiracy. It seems very plausible. This dude exploits himself.
Yeah, nah, I could, white, who is Hispanic. Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Yeah, like because you got some Indians that want to be down so bad that they might even, emulate
I mean, when
themselves.
you hear his story, I mean, in no way did I just like investigate this, like, oh, it's a conspiracy. Like, nah, it's like, it's like at one point in time, you like, oh, who's this Takashi guy? And then something might come out, and then you click on that, and then you listen to his story of who he was before he was who he was, and then wah. And then it's like, oh, now Treyway is under investigation and Mel Murder's under investigation. And how is Mel Murder connected to this guy? You feel me? And it's like, you looking at it like that. So it's like you looking at Mel Murder cases and you like, oh, and then yeah, you go to interviews. He got interviews talking about him where he said stuff kind of like implicating that. That was another thing too. So I don't know, bro.
Yeah, this guy told the judge, "We don't bend, we don't fold."
Yeah, it's Treyway. Yeah,
I'm,
that
I'm
was
reading,
that was
reading
shoddy.
it. I think he
That was
said Mel
shoddy.
Murder open letter.
You said what?
I'm reading it. It says Mel Murder open letter to the judge. We don't bend, we don't fold.
That's what Mel Murder said?
Yeah,
Oh damn.
yeah. That judge said, okay, 90 years.
Damn. He got 90?
Nah, I'm joking about that.
Cause I ain't hear nothing else since. This was like I mean, this whole situation, when was that? Like 2018, 2017, maybe? I haven't really heard anything since then. This was before COVID and everything, like when it was really, really like popping, when the whole like trial was
Yeah,
going.
it says 3 years ago. Yeah, it's part of Bird game. He's reckless ass nigga.
Nah, like, nah, yeah. But this is interesting. It is interesting. These boys, just like the whole Young Thug thing, like that's that's crazy. Who would have thought Young Thug, right?
Right.
Young Thug out here
Yeah.
causing.
What caught me even by more of a surprise was Gunna.
What you mean? Him being involved?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, what? I thought it was a rumor, like Gunna. Like he involved in this stuff too. Like what the hell?
Man, you gotta understand them Atlanta guys, man, they different, bro. They different. Different motives. You feel me? They different.
What's her name? Fannie Willis. She said they're responsible for damn near all the crime in Atlanta. There's one group really responsible for almost all the crimes in Atlanta.
And that's crazy. That's how you know they really had to be ruthless before
Oh
they
yeah,
got
yeah.
to where
I'm
they
sure.
were. You feel me? Like on some movie type shit. Somebody
Yeah,
probably gonna make a movie about these guys later.
yeah. I'm sure that that's what she said. Like she.
And it's so crazy because this guy is so sus. Like Young Thug is the most sus uh uh male
Right.
rapper out here.
But it's always them. It's always the ones that ain't really, they
It's
got to
always the ones
overcompensate.
you least suspect. You least suspect.
Yeah.
It's them.
But that was weird. But I remember his Breakfast Club interview, like not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago. He even Charlamagne was like, "Yeah, man, we heard you was wild," but he was acting like he changed his life. like there's some past tense that like, yeah, we heard you was a man, you was wild, like you really were doing that. And then he's like, yeah, but he was
The
talking like
thing is,
everything was past
the
tense.
thing is like, even if he did change his life, bro, the feds will have people listening and watching you for years, bro.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it don't
yeah.
really
They already got a
matter.
case. Yeah, it's too late
It
for that.
don't really matter. Like you can clean up the past year, 2 years,
Yeah,
and we already got 5 years of watching you.
yeah,
Like
right.
that don't matter.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And now somebody, some mayor or somebody said something about the Philly, was warning Philadelphia rappers like, yo, we gonna get you. You're next.
people gotta stop playing with the government, my boy.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm waiting to see what they're gonna do at Chicago. How they gonna clean that one up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's gonna be interesting. Well, the easiest thing to do to clean up some ghetto shit is gentrification. It's the easiest way.
But I mean, gentrification comes jobs and all this other shit too.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you put jobs in these areas, build these areas up. I mean, you can't get good things out of it.
Yeah, I don't know another way other than because you got people. Big T, the battle rapper, was on Math Hopper. He was saying, "Yeah, it got to be a change in Chicago." See, and that'd be my problem because he says it got to be a change, right? But he don't offer the change. So what do? By default, they put it in the mayor hands, and the mayor is the chief of police, basically. Like he's the head police enforcer, law enforcer in charge. So you put it in a law enforcer hand to handle something like that, it's going to always be with the law.
Mm.
So why would you go ask a law enforcer to handle it, and then when he enforce laws, everybody complain and get crazy? It's like, dude, y'all went to the law enforcement and asked them to do it. Why you ain't yourself provide the answers, solutions, the remedy? You went there with your hands up, like I don't know what to do. Here, you do something. They're gonna always say, okay, tough laws.
That's the biggest problem in the black community. We don't create a plan. All these other places create a plan. Like
We never got a plan.
like I used to work for a solar company, and we used to have to like coordinate things with different government fundings and shit like that. But I mean, you had to come in there with a plan on what you're trying to do so you can allocate funds and they can know ahead of time so they can submit the funds to the government so you can get the funds.
Right.
Because whatever you submitted, they deem this is, what we're trying to spend money on.
Right. Like you gotta let them know. Like this is where the money's going, and the
Right,
government
you
is
just
gonna say
gotta
yes
let
or
them
no.
know. You gotta come with a plan.
Right.
Like Baltimore was given $1. They were giving away row homes for $1 in the city.
What's a row home?
Like a townhouse, like a brownstone if you're from Brooklyn or something, like, you feel me? That's a row home. It's in a row of homes.
Okay, got you.
So yeah, they was giving them away for $1. But I mean, they had to be remodeled and stuff like that. I mean, they had problems in them now. But I mean, you probably seen The Wire, so you seen how houses was You know what I mean? But if you think about it, if you can get a bunch of homes for under $1 on that row of houses, like you know, you can make a good real estate profit in the next, 2 to 50 years, however you
Yeah.
plan on keeping it, right? But most people did not do anything about it. So Johns Hopkins bought up the properties, and they ended up tearing a lot of those row homes down, and they ended up creating, condos and other different types of facilities in these areas. And now they own most of East Baltimore. So it's just like, if you got a plan, you can do it. Even as a single person, you can go down there. I mean, I know people who've done it, but I mean, it's not like in a huge mass scale type of situation. It's just like, somebody had $10,000 and they went down there and, got a couple houses and was able to, fix them up over time. But you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. So tomorrow I'm gonna do the interrogation one. Because what happens is, like, when black folks, not just black folks, but when people get arrested for something, like, let's say they get caught red-handed, right? And they get arrested. Like, they think the interrogation room can't hurt them because they already caught me red-handed. I might as well talk. No, they don't understand that the police officers are trying to get you the hardest, the worst charge, and they can't do that unless you start talking. Because how do they know whether it's a random act of violence? That could be second degree, third degree manslaughter, or just first degree. They don't know until you start talking, and then your manslaughter, whatever you're gonna get, goes to first degree premeditated, because you told them, that you was thinking about this 2 days in advance. So it's like, no, just because you got locked up, you got caught red-handed, doesn't mean that it can't get any worse. It get worse because your charge can go now to first degree premeditated murder, and shit, you don't want that. So that's what a lot of them was doing. The police officer already caught them. They already confessed, whatever. Now they're trying to give them the worst charge possible. They need them to tell the story, and they all fall for it. So that's what's happening in the interrogation rooms. It's pretty sad because you see a lot of black folks in the interrogation rooms for murder. Pretty sad. And they don't do too much.
You said the watcher was on here. I see Chef in the chat. What's going on, Chef?
I almost got to refresh my thing.
I ain't about to be on here too much.
Yeah, I was just telling you about tomorrow because I gotta wake up early for the gym. I do see Chef now. I had to I didn't see Brenda. I had to refresh my chat. Yeah, so tomorrow, I'm gonna do a reaction on those interrogations. They're very, I can't say funny because it's people realize, but I'll just say it's entertaining. Yeah, entertaining.
Did you see that girl who didn't sign the ticket?
No.
You didn't see that?
Is it new?
Yeah, it's been like going viral for like the past week and a half.
Did they lock her up?
Yeah, because apparently, I guess her boyfriend was driving and they got a ticket and they ended up getting out the car. The boyfriend, he was complacent, like he was good, whatever. and she was standing by the car, and the police officer was like, "Hey, can you come in, ma'am?" And she was like, at first she ignored him, and then he asked her again, and she came over, and
Dr.
he pretty
Dixon.
much wanted her ID and everything else, and no, I think he wanted her to sign the ticket, and she was like, "Oh, well, what is your badge number? What's your name and all this other stuff?"
Oh,
And he told her it wasn't no problem,
right.
but when he was like, "Can you sign?" He asked her again. It's the second time. "Can you
Yeah.
sign the ticket?" She ain't want to sign it, so he was like, "All right, well, if you don't want to sign it, I'm gonna have to take you in."
Yeah, gotta lock you up. Yeah.
Exactly. And she was like, "Okay." And she ignored him, and she started trying to still put information in her phone. And then he went over to her and started, applying, trying to put her hands behind her back and whatever, applying some force. And now
Yeah.
she's starting to get, antsy. But when the video first came out, it was just from that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And that's why I tell people, I tell niggas, like blackologists, stop watching the cell phone video, okay? Before you make a decision. Wait for the body cam, because the body cam tells the entire story. The cell phone it cherry picks. It picks up to tell the false narrative, right? They all do it. Don't wait. I'm not saying ignore the cell phone, but just wait until the body cam is released before you draw your conclusion, before you start to put finger point. Now, let me explain the ticket thing, because that's what I do on my channel. I explain police stops and what you can do and can't do. That's why I asked you, did she get locked up? Because there's two tickets. People don't understand. There's two tickets. There's one ticket you sign as an admission of guilt. You don't got to sign that, right? Because you're going to fight it in court. But there's another ticket that you got to sign, and you're not admitting guilt. You're acknowledging you got to go to court. And if you don't sign that ticket, they're going to lock your ass up on the spot every time, all the time. And
yeah.
niggas be thinking that that's the ticket where you admit guilt. No, this ticket you have to sign. They're going to always, that's police policy to lock you up. It's police.
The way he even worded it in the video
Right.
sounded like it wasn't like a big deal. He was
Nah,
just
nah.
like, "Listen, ma'am,
You're
just
acknowledging there's a
sign
court date. That's
this,
all. That's all you're. Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah. So, right. That's very important. So, when the police officers say sign it, you want to make sure, like, listen, is this an admission of guilt? That's all you want to know. Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna sign this. I'll fight. I'll fight it in court. No, it's not admission of guilt. Then you gotta sign that motherfucker, because he gonna lock you up. All right. Every time she gonna lock you up. It's their policy. If they don't lock you up, they're not being a good cop. They gotta lock you up.
yeah." But the fact that he even told her beforehand that he was like, I mean, he said it calm, and that, and it's funny because so many people like my boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, like he went
Yeah.
in and he was like, "Black women don't understand shit if you say it too calm." You
Right.
feel me? Like,
You said
and
too
he
calm.
said it, and it's a black dude. It ain't no
Yeah.
white dude. But he was just
Disrespecting.
like,
Right.
man,
This white dude should have signed that thing so fast.
probably. But he was like, "Man, listen, you feel me? If you don't sign this, I'm going to have to take you to jail." Like straight, like it was like straightforward. She was just like in her phone, like, you said your badge numbers, whoop de whoop. And she ain't signed it. So
Uh-huh.
he was like, all right, walked around her man's and started trying to grab her wrist, you feel me? And then she started being like, "Oh my God," like, you
Yeah, too
feel
late
me?
now.
Now you the victim. Like he just
Yeah. Hey yo, I'm no lawyer, no none of that shit, but I'm telling you, from what I've seen, what I witnessed, if you're trying to get out of a ticket, right, and get caught up, and you want to catch a break, do not ask that man for his badge number and his
hmm
a name. You just guaranteed a ticket. once you do that, because that's seen as like an offensive act.
Right.
Right. So, and then secondly, don't ask for a badge number and name if you ain't gonna do shit with it.
Bro, first of all, if you're just getting a ticket, just cop a deuce, bro.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know what the big deal with people and tickets.
what
They
are
be
you
flipping out.
talking about? You talking about A, speeding, B, some sort of minor traffic
Right.
violation,
No
or
turn of red and goofy like that, man.
or C, driving drunk, which you gonna probably get locked up for anyway.
Oh yeah, that you can almost guarantee you're gonna be in handcuffs that night.
Yeah, so I mean, it's usually two, maybe some third or fourth scenario I'm not thinking about, but you feel me?
Reckless driving.
9 times out of 10, you can cop a deuce and be like, nah. So like, for example, right? I'm coming back home from like an ex house, you feel me? And I'm like, this ex was like, let's say 45, 50 minutes from where I live at. You feel me? And we had been out. We had been out all day. You feel me? And we had been drinking all day, but just not like on some alcoholic stuff, but like on some. So
Right.
we had wine here, or we had beer here, but we went to like multiple spots during the day, type of thing. You feel me? But now I'm dropping her off at, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm driving back home, and I'm not drunk or anything, because at this point it's way after like when we was drinking. Like, you feel me? Like, it wears off after a while, but you just tired from like walking, drinking, all this other stuff. You tired. So I'm driving home, and yeah, like, it's nobody on the road, bro. And yeah, I'm low key swerving. But I noticed a car behind me, and this car literally followed me for like at least 10 miles, bro. At least 10 miles. And I mean, once I noticed it, I straightened up and like was on point, because I was like aware that this car is following me, because I would change a lane and then it would change the lane,
Right.
but it would
Right.
keep the distance. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I'm driving, and like after 10 miles, it's like a little median in the highway, and I see a state trooper. You feel me? And again, I'm on point. I'm watching the car behind me. I see the state trooper.
Yeah.
I drive past the state trooper. He comes out, follows me for like 2 more miles, pulls by, what I mean? He was already behind me, but then he turns the lights on, pulls me over, and walks up on me. He like, yeah. He was like, we got a phone call saying that you swerving back there, and somebody was following you for the past like, you know, some odd miles, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, like,
It's like some citizen arrest type shit.
yeah, bro. But nah, long story short, they had me get out the car, and he realized I wasn't drunk enough, and like,
Right.
they did the whole the they knew I wasn't
Sobriety
drunk.
test.
It was like, you know what, you good.
Did a full
But
sobriety test, yeah.
yeah, but I told him exactly what happened. Like, yeah, I was out here all day, like whatever, I was tired, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But while as they was talking to me, they could tell I was straight, so they just
Right.
let me go.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, people definitely be out here on that shit. So.
Some weirdo shit. Yeah. Like there's some regular ass niggas just trailing you, calling cops. Yo, this guy's swerving.
Literally had the state troopers waiting for me.
Wow.
They they who knows where their exit was, because they followed me.
Right. They been past that.
They followed me until the damn state trooper was right there in sight, and then they rolled back. Like crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. Those bright test your ass. That's another thing. If a police officer get out the car, most of the people that watch this know already. When a police officer get out the car, right? That's not a debate. It's always under the threat of arrest. Okay, and if you don't get out, he gonna bust your window and tase your ass and get you out that way. So you can get out peacefully with your window intact and no tase things on your body, or you can just get out the hard way. You got to buy a new window. But when the officers to get out to your car, it don't matter what the reason is. If he says get out, that's a lawful order. Get your stupid ass out that car. Don't be asking for what and that goofy shit. Get your ass out the car.
No boy, like you know, I got my HQL handgun qualification and my concealed carry license. But that's a lot of the stuff that they teach you in those type of classes is how to properly interact with police officers, knowing that, you know, you may have a gun in the car or something. And you gotta know those things. You always gotta cop a deuce. Even if you shoot somebody, you always gotta, you know what I mean, you probably should lock the gun back up or fucking throw it on the ground wherever it was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't wanna interfere with the fact that you were trying to protect yourself at all times. You want to make sure that the evidence is clear that the reason why I discharged this weapon is because of a threat.
Right.
And you want to call the police. You don't want somebody else to call them.
Oh yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
You want to call them and you want to tell them what happened. You don't want to ever seem like
you was hiding something. Yeah.
You're hiding. Right.
That's the defense going to be shaky at that point.
Exactly. And everything is being recorded. You know what I mean? Yeah, so.
Yeah, so let me hit this bed. I gotta wake up early, hit this gym. And you know, I might go on early tomorrow. Yeah, I might go early tomorrow.
All right, bro.
Yeah, because let me get off before I. It's funny. I'm not even that sleepy, but it creeps up on me, bro. I be talking 1 minute, as you know, you be by yourself. That thing creeps up. I never catch it coming. It just get me. I be knocked the hell out. All right. So yeah. So good, Bill. We'll chat. We'll chop it up tomorrow.